flex me a body. Say, oh, it's another one, yeah, it's a full span, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
Welcome. I'm Neutral. This is Hard Talk USA, and I'm joined by my special guest, Mr. Remy, aka as the #1 US space Twitter king in the US spaces, Mr. Buxaplenty. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for
How you doing,
for
brother?
joining us tonight. I'm very well, thank you.
Sure.
Very well. Well, we're in for a good one tonight. This show is sponsored by D-Rock Apparel. They are show sponsors. There they are, D-Rock Apparel. Get lovely apparel you can buy. Tracksuits, tops, bottoms, whatever you want, as worn by the stars. And take advantage of iBoxing's very own 40% discount, iBoxing24 in the discount box, and enjoy your purchases. Well, Remy, episode 5, much to talk about, but we'll start off and we'll come up to today's topics in due course. For the audience, the StreamYard link will be dropped in by the producer. So very soon I'll be inviting some of you guys on to ask you questions and get your opinions in. But for now, Remy, we'll start the show. And we'll go through the Haney. Last time you were here, we were making predictions about Haney and Garcia. Now we know what's happened. We've seen the aftermath. We've seen Ryan Garcia come out and say that he blew the weight on purpose, as advised by Floyd Mayweather, his new mentor. Do you feel that Team Haney got, what we call finessed in the game, and
most definitely
totally outsmarted? Is that, you're a Haney fan? The impact on when realization what had happened, and the result of that overweight. How did that, you see that? How did it affect you? Your thinking on that?
I think I had two opinions of it. Like, as a fan of boxing, right, you always have the part of you that wants things to go fairly, per se, right? But then there's that thin line where it is competition. We're talking about war here. It is an art of war aspect of it, and I can't diminish Ryan's win because of my personal feelings. I can be unbiased. Like, Devin Haney has specifically helped me, actually, so it is a bit of bias there. It's exactly why I got my Ryan's Not La Raza shirt on right now. Anyways, so but being totally honest, I think Devin was a bit in over his head. He got a bit overconfident. He underestimated his opponent, which is something you can never do. Ryan, he played dumber than his mark the entire time. And when I was telling people that Ryan was enacting laws of power and art of war, everyone thought Ryan was too stupid to understand this, as though he isn't a grown man dealing with millions of dollars with big wig friends who can at the least give him the advice. So
yeah, definitely.
I figured the 3 pounds, the hoopla around the weigh-in, all of this stuff I commented on, and I always understood it as tactics to win the fight. I knew that he didn't blow weight because he'd been partying all the time. He wanted an advantage. He wanted to make sure that he could take Devin's shots better, and that Devin wouldn't be at his full strength in comparison to Ryan. You see them at the weigh-in. Devin looked, he looked a bit dry. You could tell he had issues shedding off those last few pounds, where Ryan didn't have that issue. And then you go into the fact of this. If there's some technicalities involved in this as well. I think it's 3 pounds exactly, or a bit over 3 pounds, where they won't make you shed the weight off, and there has to be some sort of contractual agreements. Whereas if it's 5 pounds, the fight gets called off completely, and if it's 2 pounds, they force you to shed it. So that was completely strategic by Ryan Garcia. And then
it was bang on that minimum, wasn't it? That maximum that he could have gone to.
Exactly.
To still claim the fight to go ahead.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. And then another aspect too, Neutral, I want to point out is that when you look at it, when you look at it in its totality, it's all of those things. And it shaped up, the perfect storm happened for Ryan as well. With the first round, that changed the fight. I've heard, and this could be straight innuendo. I heard from someone that spoke with Derrick James that punch in the first round changed the entire complexion of the fight and what him and Derrick intended to do in the fight with Devin.
Do you think that Team Garcia, including Derrick James, were surprised at how well Ryan started?
Most definitely. I think they may have planned for some of those things, but they didn't expect it to happen the way it happened. Like, I don't think they expected it to. I don't think they expected to play in their favor so much. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant point. Now, there's a lot of accusations being put online, you know, and on X about Devin's been cheated, this, that, and the other. I was on a space the other day, and I answered somebody's question about it. You know, was he cheated? And the answer to me is no, he wasn't cheated, because he actually, this was then turned into another fight. The belt was off the line. It was at a new weight. Both had to have agreed to it. Both of them have had to, you know, sign it off. So therefore, it wasn't the fight that everybody had come to know. It wasn't for the belt. It was a brand new fight at a brand new weight, and obviously the money had changed. When we take that into consideration, does it feel that Devin Haney, you know, on hindsight, shouldn't have bothered strapping that weight off when he knew Ryan was coming in overweight? Because I believe he knew Ryan was overweight at the press conference when he said, how about make it $500,000 a pound? Now, for him to have said that, he must have had knowledge that Ryan was overweight. Would you agree?
No, most definitely. But again, I think it goes back more so to the matter of Devin was overconfident. Ryan played possum so well that I think Devin truly bought into the idea that Ryan wasn't training properly, and if not that, he thought that Ryan was in a bad mental state. So I think that maybe, and that same token, it's like, how much credence can you give to the fact that you were going to fight someone you believe to not be completely prepared for you, versus the fact that he lacked integrity in negotiation. So I could lean towards what you're saying as far as he didn't get cheated. Devin's a grown-ass man. You know, he made his bed. He had to lay in it. He had the option to call the fight off. But also, Ryan does have some onus. I don't think he should be celebrated for pulling these moves. And then, you know, you got the win. You got the win for sure. But I don't think there needs to be any extra stumping on Devin's neck as far as the weight goes, because there is a history. There's some empirical data that can show that those 3 pounds that matters. With Diego Corrales,
definitely.
Diego Corrales and Jose Luis Castillo's first fight. Yeah, that's a perfect example where that 3 pounds made a difference, and Corrales was able to get the win. You know, so you know, it happens. It happens. It could be something.
It does.
And then you have cases like Floyd Mayweather and Canelo, where weight didn't matter at all. So it's a double-edged sword. I would think that it's best for Devin Haney to not use the weight as an excuse, because it could cloud what really happened that night. You know?
Yeah, because and he should see that fight as not for the 140 belt that we all know that it was going to be for, but as a separate catchweight fight that went wrong weight-wise for him. You know, it wasn't a true 140 fight in any sense. But what you're going to get, and you know, and I condone or agree with this thing. What I've been hearing is that the 3 pounds would not have mattered mentally to Devin, because he always thought he was going to knock out Ryan even before he stepped in the ring, right? He said there's levels to this game, and he said that right before the fight, and inevitably he loses. But you're absolutely correct that the 3 pound that Ryan should have lost, and therefore trying to rehydrate off 140 instead of 143 and gaining that advantage that he did get on Devon, right? That in that sense, if you're talking from a pure boxing aspect, would that weight have made any difference on a pound for pound basis?
Well, and that's the thing. It's a tricky situation because you can lean towards every pound count. Every pound counts, right? And in fairness to Devon and the integrity that he carries and the way that he holds the honor code to the sport, I must give him this. When you go into negotiations in bad faith, you must be held accountable for that, right? So I personally believe with the vitriol Devon got, with the backlash Devon got for coming in, he made weight against Regis Prograis. He came in at what people said was 25 pounds over, right? That was put out by the California State Athletic Commission. That was not an issue that Regis Prograis spoke on. That was not something that his team spoke on in an excuse for the fight. And it also wasn't something that was Devon had to pay for in any penalty terms at all. So it's not something worth bringing up. And it's also unfair to Devon that he was penalized in the court of public perception, the court of public opinion about that situation. And then you guys are celebrating Ryan beating him. So I think that's more of a Devon Haney hate club thing. And I think a lot of the things that Devon has to deal with in general are because he has a huge hate club.
Unfortunately, you're 100% correct. This tribalistic thing the boxers have between the fans, very vitriolic. Now let's moving on from that to where does Devon go next? My feeling on this is Devon should clear his mind of what happened. In fact, as I said, if he has the right mentality and the right mindset for this, he could well bounce back from this, no problem at all. And in the sense that he's got a mandatory waiting in him for Sandor Martin, it's not going to be like that again, like that fight he's just had with Ryan. So he's going to be on a level playing field against a guy that, on paper, he should beat 9 times out of 10. It's after that fight that I want to know what Devon's going to do next, because of the current champions, and obviously he'll look to unify. The current champions, as we know, is the IBF is Matthias, WB's Cruz, and WBO Teal. So, the other, no one's booked apart from Cruz. Cruz is booked up now, I believe, Veracano, and then after that, he's booked. Would you say Devon should then take on that either Matthias or Teal? In my eyes, Teal, to unify that WBO and the WBC.
Well, I got word prior to the fight, and I mean I'm cool with releasing this information now that Devon's lost. It's like all good, whatever. I got information directly from Devon that he would possibly be fighting Sandor and Tio had he won the Garcia matchup. So I'm thinking he still could go down that route. I believe Tio Fimo is a big puncher, but he isn't as big as a puncher as Ryan Garcia. And I also think he doesn't pose the same threats Ryan does as far as his speed and his length. So I think Devon getting his confidence back would be the first thing to do. So fighting Sandor, getting your mandatory out the way. It's a fight that bodes well for Devon, a boxer, someone that he could go in there, have some highlights against, get his confidence back, and he be on the side of the street necessary, because Sandor did just sign with Top Rank. So he would have Tio as the secondary matchup. It'd be a nice build-up because Sandor and Tio fought. They have a common opponent. So then he could segue to Teofimo if that's still on the table for him. Teofimo is really difficult in negotiations. As much as he likes to get on the internet and say certain things, he's always kind of bothered me when it gets to the fights I want to see him in, like the Shakurs, the Tank Davises. It's almost like he's not even attached to these guys synonymously anymore. Like in 2017, 18, 19, there was Shakur, there was Devon, there was Tank, there was Ryan, there was Tio. He is completely out of that, it seems like. And I don't think it's because of Jermaine performance. I think it's because he doesn't show a willingness to go after these guys like they show to go after each other.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Tio likes to rest on his laurels once he's got a belt, you know, try to dictate the terms, you know, at his side and using his, you know, his wealth of, you know, past glories to prop him up. You know, and Devin once again getting unjustly attacked by Floyd Mayweather, of all people. You know, that brings us on to, you know, to our second topic of the night, and this my timeline's gone off the scale with this, Gervonta.
Yeah, I know you see me. I'm letting the tweets fly.
I'm just sitting back watching them eating the popcorn, going, "My God, this is
Tank
great."
is so funny to me. I'm not
Remy,
gonna lie.
because Rico's not here. See this picture on the screen right now. You have to. Can you decode this for me? Because Rico, I don't know what he means by that. So can you translate what's going on here? We've got three girls in the back with Gervonta and Floyd enjoying. It looks like a private jet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they joined the Mile High Club or something.
Is that
so
together?
I think, so the first word he used, "tuh" is like you know how people say bye Felicia, please, like bitch, please. It's like a term like that, like almost
all
like
right,
like you are you serious type thing. And
yeah.
saying the girls behind, like you said, no, he don't have any sugar in his tank. And I'm guessing some of those women may be attached to Floyd Mayweather in a different way. So he's taking a couple digs at Floyd with that.
Right, gotcha. Right. So they've been throwing the sugar at each other.
Did you see what Jams commented? Jams is fucking funny. Oh
I didn't see that. Mayweather showing his disloyal towards Devin, and now they're saying Tank is gay. No, did he? No, did he? So I mean, obviously, Tank, you know, he's been getting slaughtered back. You know, and he's doing his best to slaughter Floyd back, saying he's got to give him a smack when he sees him. You know, it's just getting worse and worse. Now, I've heard people on Twitter saying this has happened before when Tank fights a fight. Is that true?
It was before the Rolly fight. I began to think it was a shtick of theirs a long time ago. It just seemed like, okay, I tweeted this like, bro, maybe 2 years ago, same thing, same circumstance, where I was like, maybe Floyd is telling, because a long time ago, there was a lot of media encouragement. And when I say media, I mean the old media, the gatekeepers, the hags who like to make sure guys like us don't have a voice.
New media.
Yeah, the gatekeepers, they were saying that Gervonta should leave Floyd Mayweather and things like that. And I thought that at that point, Tank and Floyd came up with a little marketing strategy where they would just argue with each other because they knew all the news cycle. I mean, all the publications would pick it up. I thought that was what was going on, but come to find out, Tank actually doesn't like Floyd. So I mean, I don't know. It looks real to me.
It does look real. You can tell by language. When I'm on Twitter, I like to break down people's grammar and the English that they use when they're answering somebody, just to gauge their moods. But I'm trying to see the kidology between these two, and I can't find it.
Neutral, we got a lot of people in boxing who like to just like come up with stuff and just not move from it, no matter what new information they're presented. So I think, like, at this point, like, so I would like to believe Tank doesn't need to take the like Ryan Garcia route, because I always believed that Oscar and Ryan did that. But part of me thinks Oscar barely believes in Ryan, and that Ryan barely likes Oscar. So when it comes to that, I think Tank just, he's a young street kid. He doesn't really understand Floyd's mentality. It reminds me of Adrian Broner. I don't believe Adrian Broner really liked Floyd Mayweather after a while either. Their relationship isn't the best nowadays, to my knowledge. And I think, some people, it's just like, okay, yeah, you're a mentor, you're a fighter that I love, but it's like they can't agree with his character,
Yeah, absolutely. No, Floyd's in a bit of trouble, we believe, over in Saudi Arabia. Apparently, he's been lifted by men coming to his hotel, taken away by black car.
Wait,
So,
hold up.
yeah, some of the allegations that some of what's going on here. From what I'm gauging, is that he may have broken some Saudi law when it comes to employing people. And there's nothing worse, I would imagine, in Saudi Arabia than not paying somebody. So if it's a charge, then yeah, he got lifted and he'll have to be questioned by the authorities. And if proven that, or, there's enough evidence to suggest that Floyd has indeed, let's see, for a better term, been naughty in Saudi Arabia, then he could be in big trouble. And it's got to be said that I think people are not realizing, just if by what I'm hearing, if it's true, just how much trouble he's in. Is that Ricco we can welcome to the show? I don't know. Maybe he's still coming through there.
Bro.
Yeah, he is, my man.
What's up,
I know
Ricco?
you've got your daughter
What's going on,
tonight,
Remy?
Ricco, so I appreciate you coming through like this, pal, supporting your best mate.
Yeah, bro, of course. Proud of you. You done your first weigh today. I saw the interviews. Sick. Yeah, man.
Thank
What's
you,
going on,
sir.
Remy?
Yeah, I was at the
Let's go.
next gen weigh-in. There's me and David Diamante comparing glass shades there. Yeah, that was an interesting
Are those like the
conversation.
exact same glasses, just a different colorway, or what?
We both got the same Armani. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I'm like,
young
man,
Hamza. Young Hamza Rudin there. Yeah, I had a great time meeting the boxers. It was over very quickly. It was over within 45 minutes, so it was a quick press conference. But I managed to bump into a few people, get a few. I even Beatrice Ferreira, I got her interview as well, which I was very pleased about. But all in all, a good experience. There she is.
like it.
Sat her and her team there, sat right next to me. I didn't even have to go up and ask for an interview. I said, "Oh, by the way, Beatrice, would you mind speaking to iBoxingHub for a minute?" And a translator, she called a translator over, and well, it was refreshing to see a boxer and their team so willing to speak to the media that were there today. And Ricco, I certainly understand the feelings that you get when you go to the show. So thank you, and as my mentor in the past 13, 14 months. And who's given
Ricco out
me
here
a
mentoring
platform.
people.
He is. I'll tell you what. If anybody's got an ambition in new media, YouTube, X, Instagram, whatever you want to call it, you could do no worse than drop my man Ricco a line through DMs, and I'm pretty sure that the nice guy he is will give you every quarter and advice what you need to do to succeed. And he's given me that confidence, and I thank you again, Sensei.
Oh, mate, I didn't do anything. I just showed you the door and you walked through it.
You're too modest. You're too modest. Right, we were just saying there, we were talking about, obviously, you missed the Haney Garcia aftermath thoughts. We were talking, we then moved on to, obviously, there were some of the Twitter's been going off the timeline today, and you posted a picture of, there it is, Floyd Mayweather, Tank, and three lovely young ladies in the background there, all smiling. So take me through this picture. Remy's sort of given us a background. Let me see if you can, if you agree with him. So what was your translation of this?
He just wanted people to know that he wasn't gay, I guess. It seems to be going around a lot. Everyone's just like, I'm not gay. Um, I don't know. Like it's 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 just weird. But the thing is, everyone's kind of done questionable shit. You know, Mayweather's been in UGG boots. Tank has got a purse. Like, you know, it is whatever. It's whatever. I just want him to be focused for man like Frank, because that's a really really tough fight. And yeah, yeah, that picture just said to me, we were on the same plane with the same chicks and probably smashing um in the same plane. So yeah,
But
it's
and we were saying, me and Remy were discussing the validity of the beef. And would you say that it's actually real, or is it just like, the kidology that the Tank does to sell fights? From what I was looking at, the rhetoric, it didn't look too friendly. It didn't have that feel
Do you know
of
how I know it's
kidology.
real? He hasn't
Go on, my
deleted
man.
any tweets. He
Oh,
hasn't
Yeah,
that's
deleted
yeah.
shit.
true.
That's what Rico.
That's true. He has not deleted
Remy,
this
trust me,
time.
Remy. I'm
That's
really a
a,
You know what I
detective
mean?
that
out in
was a
this
part
shit.
of my logic too.
I've studied the subject of Javante Tank Davis for quite some time. I believe that I know his patterns and you know what, like the shit that he does. And he's not deleted not one single tweet. That is
He's standing on this stuff
he's
So
he's
he is
he's
standing on his hill,
he's
for
standing
sure,
on
for sure.
business.
And
Yes.
standing on
I don't
business.
know if y'all have seen. I'm looking on Instagram. So apparently Floyd Mayweather posted a fight bill of Shakur and Tank, right? He X'd out Prime and GTD Promotions. That's crazy. I don't know about y'all, but me being an American boxing fan, that's eerie to me because now I'm looking at Floyd's relationship with PBC and Al right now. Like, what's going on? Maybe Floyd has gotten reprimanded somehow, and they're like, "Hey, Floyd, he's the moneymaker." But I don't know. I'm just speculating. Like, what the hell could be going on? That's crazy right there, for real. That's crazy. That is
So
crazy.
with bringing PBC into the conversation, we're seeing obviously August the 3rd's card. It's made up, I would say, about 75% of PBC fighters. There it is on the screen. Um, I actually think that this is a transitional period for PBC, because there's rumors that after the Tank card in May, that it's Prime are going to dump PBC, which will pave the way for PBC to join Dazn. Does this move? Does this move with Turkey Al Sheikh and allowing PBC fighters to fight on this card, August the 3rd, Riyadh season? It's purely a matchroom. I know Tom Brown Promotions, they got a wee logo on the top of it, but there's no PBC logos anyway. So I'm not assuming
Yeah.
for 1 minute this is a PBC production of any kind. However, because is Al transitioning from advisor from promoter, whatever, to manager of these boxers who are transitioning over? Would that then pave the way for PBC to then join DAZN full time and just to be part of the Boxing Global family?
I think
Thing is, the new.
go ahead, Rico.
Go
Go
on,
ahead.
Remy.
No, I've been doing a lot of talking, bro. You can if you want to just draw your point home.
I think you actually have to look at the structure and what PBC kind of is with their fighters. A lot of them, um, like what we were talking about on the space yesterday, Steve, with fighters being a brand and having a team and such and such. Al Heyman is able to be a manager and a promoter because he found a loophole, and that's what he's an advisor. Um, the thing is, it's not just that he's letting them fight on Turk's card. It's that, you have them managed by like Louis de Cubas and, different entities within PBC. Like what PBC isn't, to me, it's just a sinking ship at the minute. All their fighters are leaving. Their fighters can't get fight dates. It's like a mess. Um you've managed to secure somewhat of a contract with, Prime, which you haven't really delivered on properly. That first card that they had, it ended up being good, but on paper, like it didn't really entice people to buy it. I don't know what the numbers were, but I'm pretty sure they're shit. Yeah,
Yeah, it's 50,000, something like that, or 30,000.
that's
For the
terrible. But this
first,
is what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like that's
that's
terrible.
awful.
Why
The,
they say that it's a flop, like for 30,000, 60,000, is because even if you just look at America domestically, America has hundreds of millions of people. You know what I mean? Like
250 million.
that's massive, and to only get 60,000 out of that, like
I'm
that
not gonna
is.
lie though, Rico. It's a lot of factors into this, right? So one, I think it's more so this, like where we view PBC as like losing fighters. It's kind of never been that per se. Recently, I would say I think they're letting people go. I think it's the opposite of what we view it as. I
Just
think a
not
lot
an
of the fighters.
exodus.
I think a lot. Yeah, I think a lot of fighters we think that they value, they don't. Like I think it's more so of a thing where with them transitioning, they first of all they fucking pillaged Golden Boy for all those fighters at that point. But boxing changed so much since then that now they kind of got to figure out who are the guys, how are they gonna promote those guys, as in like build the superstar. Because what Dazn, everybody's gonna have trouble building superstars going forward. Whether I don't know if y'all noticed that or not, everyone's gonna have trouble building superstars. Because like you gotta think about it. You guys got guys like Ben Whitaker, and he's with Boxer, right? Like let's just, and this is just me, just shooting the shit as a fan, right? He should be with Eddie. Like he should be with Eddie. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like that should be a guy with Eddie getting like, all the fucking attention Conor Benn been getting. All the attention Conor Benn been getting. Guys like fucking Ben Whitaker, Eddie should be behind him. Guys like Sonny, he should be behind him. Not because Sonny's by and far the best guy he's got. He has the marketability and he has the skill for you to maneuver him a certain way, and you could bring him here in America and start to build him. Same thing with Ben. And I think that with PBC, with Golden Boy, and right now everybody's in that situation where they're kind of having to, because like, bro, everything y'all saying about PBC, I think it also applies to everybody. Like everybody's kind of losing fighters to circumstance. Everybody's losing fighters to the circumstance in the division. Everybody's losing fighters to the circumstance of the stars. Like whoever's the guys at the top. Like say, for instance, if the divisions are 135 where Dazn has all the heat, why am I gonna stay with PBC or Golden Boy when the money's on Dazn? So I think it's a lot of moving parts going on there. Now I think Dazn is kind of ahead of the curve of everybody. They're snatching up a lot of talent at 40. They have Devin, they got Ryan. Those are the two cash cows at 40 to go up to 47, maybe 54, and they got Boots. Yeah. So they're in pole position, but I think a lot of the things about PBC are getting overblown. And their broadcasting company, bro.
Very true, very true. Well, welcome, Matt, to the show. How are you, sir?
My best friend, man. Right there.
I'm outside right now. I'm warning y'all right now. I'm outside and I'm lit. I'm just letting y'all know as the Brits would say, I'm well oiled. I'm letting you know right now.
What?
I'm letting you know right now.
Wait, which Brit told you that, bro?
That's one of my sayings. Oiled. Welcome to the show, anyway, Matt. I dropped you, obviously a link there to join us tonight. Thanks for coming through. Now, the themes that we've been talking about, where we started off with Haney and Garcia aftermath. I was telling the guys, in my eyes, that was a separate fight, and Haney should not take it as a loss as such. at 140 because it was a brand new fight, brand new negotiations, etc., etc. What's your feelings just on on that? And obviously, from them figures that have been bandied about now, it seems that that fight hit the million mark. So, what have you? What's your actually overall final thoughts on Haney Garcia and the aftermath?
Well, my final thoughts is if Devin Haney, because I don't like the narrative that the fight wasn't fair because Ryan Garcia missed weight. Here's the thing: Devin Haney wasn't compromised by Ryan Garcia missing weight. The only thing that was in compromise was the belt. Ryan Garcia was enhanced. But Devin Haney wasn't compromised. He made weight. He made weight. Now, is he having trouble making 140? That's a question for Devin and his strength and conditioning coach and his trainer. If he's having trouble making 140, he should move up to 147. But I've never been a slave to the weight classes. I don't really care about weight too much. I think 3, 4, 5, up to 10 pounds don't mean too much to me. I know it means a lot to a lot of people, but I just think that he lost to a better, more athletic fighter that night, And I kind of feel like I don't want to say he didn't take Ryan seriously. I just think that he completely underestimated what Ryan brings to the table. Before the fight started, I wanted to know, could Devin Haney get under Ryan Garcia's left hook? And we saw the answer to that was no. Then I wanted to know, did Ryan Garcia get inside Devin Haney's head? I believe he did get inside Devin Haney's head. I believe that Devin Haney was beat before the fight started. First of all, why would you not, if you're that concerned about weight, put a rehydration clause on him once he misses weight? Why would you not do that? So to me, they were beat at the negotiating table before they were even beat at the fight. And it's a shame because I think what Devin has been doing in the sport of boxing has been great for the sport. He's been taking on all challenges presented to him. It looks like he's looking for smoke. He's been going to different companies looking for smoke. So that's always a good thing when it comes to boxing.
I believe he's looking for Spence next.
Who, Haney?
No,
Ryan?
He was talking about Devin. He was talking about Devin.
Oh, sorry, you were talking about Devin there,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, I think Devin's been looking for smoke everywhere. That's a good thing. That's what we should be asking about fighters,
Well, we did say that. We did touch on the fact that I don't think Devin will be vastly affected by this if he has the right mentality towards this fight. Like you quite rightly said, Matt, he renegotiated a different fight under different terms. So if he's got the right mindset, it was a nonsense fight. It was for nothing. And all right, he lost his own at the end of the day, but he didn't lose his belt. And at 140, he's lost no kudos because that fight wasn't a 140 fight.
But you know what? I think funny enough, Devin getting his ass kicked the way that he did is going to open him up to getting even more fights. Because there are going to be people.
Oh,
NVL,
absolutely.
I just want to say, NVL, I hate you, first of all.
He got his ass kicked, Rem. Come on, man. He did. But I think a lot of people... I think a lot of these fighters are now going to think that Devin Haney is food. So I think they're going to be more willing to jump into the ring with him than they were before. So this might actually be good for his career as long as mentally he recovers from what happened.
Yes, yes, he has to. He has to.
It's the make or break. Oh, my bad, neutral. My bad.
No, I was going to come because you should know him, better than anybody. You're very close to, his career and his progress. So, what do you think? Will he come back as a champion and say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna"?
Of course he's going to come back. He only had one loss. Like, what are we even talking about?
But we're talking about the manner of that loss. That was a pretty heavy loss, Ricco. Would you not agree?
Yeah, but Steve, he's young.
The main thing is the person. I don't think Devin's the type to oh, my bad, Ricco. My bad. I couldn't hear you on mine.
Oh, no, my bad, bro. No, I was just saying, the kid is taking risk after risk. His mentality already has shown that it's strong. It's just one fight. It's the first time he was down. Yes, it was heavy, but it was a fucking circus at the end of the day. So
Yeah, but
it
Rico,
just is what it is.
it's easy to take on challenges when you're the bigger, stronger, faster guy every time you fight. And let's be honest, until he
Yeah,
fought
but
Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney was always the bigger, faster, stronger guy.
I get what you're saying, bro. But he made weight. This is the thing. Like if you make the check weights and if you make the weight on weigh-in day, then I don't see what the problem is. My issue is with Ryan in the sense of he went in there knowing that he wasn't going to follow the rules, and he was going in knowing that his opponent didn't know the advantage he was going to have by breaking set rules. That's my only issue. Yes, he lost. Like I'll even say, like as a Devon fan, he lost. Is what it is. Kid will come back stronger. Just let's
It
do it
wasn't an
right.
Yes,
ass whooping. It
Let's
wasn't an
let's
ass whooping to me.
it wasn't
I'm gonna
even
go
like
come
that
out
because
and say it.
he
I'm gonna
was
come out and say
winning
it was a
rounds
close fight.
as well.
yeah,
It was
He
a
was
close
winning
fight.
rounds as well. I'm not
It
gonna
he
wasn't
say
no
was
like
ass
he was.
whooping. Just because you get
he
knocked
was
down, don't mean you
five
got your
two
ass.
up at one point in my scorecard that night.
But that's
So
what
it
I'm saying.
was.
He wasn't
I
getting
think the last.
massively.
I think the last from round 7 to round 12, I just found was very difficult to watch for Haney. But nonetheless, he hung in there. Now, Matt, where does Haney go from here? We were talking, get that fight with Sandor Martin, get his confidence back up. And as you were alluding to there, it looks like the Teal fight could well happen because Teal quite would fancy himself after that performance, would he not?
I'm sorry, my background is a little bit loud. But yeah, I think the trio fight could be nice. Richard Hitchin, Sandor Martin. The sky's the limit for Devin Haney as long as he's willing to take on the challenge. And he's shown no indication that he's not willing to take on the challenge. So the sky's the limit for his next fight.
We look forward to his next tweet. Right, Matt, we were talking about PBC. I was alluding to the fact that we could be seeing a transitional period within PBC by Mr. Heyman allowing his boxers to appear on the Riyadh season card, August the 3rd, LA, because this doesn't happen, right? The Sheikh has come in. It's just like he's just come and said to all the promoters in the USA, bang your heads together. What's going on? And give me some fighters, and here's some money. Do you feel that this could eventually lead to PBC joining Dazn? Because I'm hearing rumors that Prime may be done with PBC after the time card.
No. Everything is all good with PBC. Al Heyman has always had a history of letting his fighters fight on other platforms or bringing fighters from other platforms to PBC. As long as it makes dollars, it makes sense. I find it funny and comical that people still run with the old BS narrative that this is something new. Al Heyman have did it before. PBC must be going out of business. No, Al Heyman has always done this. How do you think you got Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz? How do you think we got Tank versus Ryan? How do you think we had Ray Vargas versus Nick Ball? Ray Vargas is still a PBC fighter. You know, like it happens all the time. You know, even in
He let
Saudi.
Stephen Fulton go to Japan last year.
Yeah, because
That's
that's
the
where the most
biggest
money was
lie
at.
in boxing that Al Heyman does not send his fighters to other. That's the biggest lie in boxing, and you know who tells it so willingly? Eddie Hearn and fucking Oscar De La Hoya, bro. They stay lying about that shit. They know damn well he does it more than them. If you want to be honest, he does it more than them. Bob says that shit too. He does it more than them. If you want to start doing the calculations.
I don't think it's. I think it's more the premier fights that the fans would want and call for at that time, not just kind of any one who wins a purse bid or like any other fighter. Like, do you know what I mean? He wasn't exactly back in Ruiz before he fought AJ.
Yeah, he was. Why you think he? Listen, it was top ranked out that Ruiz. It was Al Heyman that picked him up off the scrap heap. So you can't say he wasn't back in Ruiz. Al
No,
Heyman's the
but
one that resurrected
compared,
Ruiz's career.
no, but he had like Ortiz and Wilder that he would, like I actually didn't know much about Ruiz until I think he fought Parker, and that was about it.
but this card, I've never seen such a card with 75%, if not more, of the card is with one promotional company who are not promoting this card. So it does raise questions that is this a brand new era of agreement between US promoters, or what do you think, Remy?
I just want to point something out also that I noticed, right? So with the whole Madrimov, with the title in general, right? Charlo tried to, jump back in the mix out of nowhere. I wanted to ask you guys, what did y'all think of that? See, now that's stuff that I think is a little, little eerie on PBC side as far as how Charlo jumped back into the mix all of a sudden. Maybe they were trying to go after that belt, to try to see if they could keep those belts on their side. That's the type of stuff that makes sense to me, with the promotional companies trying to kind of get their guys in the best position to get the bigger fights, get the bigger belts. So I thought that was an interesting situation. What did y'all think about that?
So for me, Charlo did not want to fight Madrimov. Charlo said he just wants to be reinstated as super champion and fight the winner. That's what he said. He just positioned himself. That's all.
That's it? Okay.
He's chess moving it for the next fight after that.
I think he just wants to stay relevant.
No, because he'll get Crawford. Because I don't think Madrimov's going to beat Crawford. No, not in the month of Sundays.
No, but
so that would guarantee Charlo and PBC a massive fight, a massive card as well.
That's not if he unifies first. Like, what is Charlo doing anyway? What was the last time he fought? Canelo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's champion in recess. He's injured.
Exactly. So he just wants to stay relevant while he's injured. Everybody does it.
Spencer's activated. Sorry, not Spence. Charlo activated his champion in recess clause, but the only thing is he has to be told who he's fighting, so he doesn't get a choice according to their rules. But yeah, so right. We've got some time left. We'll bring in some other guests now. If you're in you want to come in, the producer will drop the link, the StreamYard link. Come in, ask the boys your questions, and your opinions. Now, is there any other matters you want to bring to light about today's matters, Matt, with Tank and Mr. Mayweather?
I was just gonna ask you to ask him about that shit. What you thought of that, NVL?
You there, Matt? Oh, we've lost Matt. But yeah, I believe he's in a public place. So yeah. Oh, we got Mr. Styles who's come through. Big up, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for coming through the Hard Talk. What are you saying, brother?
Not much. I'm just listening to your guys' point of views about everything that's going on with the Haney Garcia, the De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, all this stuff. I'm just sitting here listening and just like really taking it all in.
And I got to pop out, bro. But much love to everybody.
Thank
Remy,
you, Rico, for coming through, sir. Enjoy your weekend.
Everybody. You too, guys.
All right, Rico, fuck with me.
So, Mr. Styles, what you've heard there tonight, what struck you the most, and what have you got to say?
I mean, first I want to point out the whole Devin Haney thing of him coming off of the loss and then messing. Like, okay, when you have someone of the caliber of Devin Haney, who's been undefeated, been undisputed world champion in one division, and just having and then moving up, winning another title there, when you have all that sense of, I guess you can say, pressure put on someone's shoulder with that kind of level of, the caliber of fighter he is. And then once you have all these people around you hyping you up, building you up, you have to at least get into some kind of mindset that at some point you are going to lose and figure out how you're going to handle it. And now if he does it the right way and just takes some time, like, just handles it, like, quietly, just, gets his mind right, then he can come back and be the dominating force that he was before this Ryan Garcia thing. And now if he lets it,
you see dominating force. At 140, would you call the Regis fight a domination of
that was his introduction into the division. So we were just getting him, like I said, he got into the lightweight division, was dominating there. So when he moved up, he's reintroducing himself to a whole new division to become dominating there. So before the Garcia fight,
what better way than to take out a champion, of course, in the way he did, Regis Prograis. And obviously his best performance up to that time. But for you, what went wrong with Garcia?
I mean, I can think of
that face.
I think. Okay, first off, what the hell is he wearing? I'm sorry. What the hell were those trunks and boots? Like, what?
Those all fear of God. It's by this guy named Jerry Lorenzo. He's like, you know how Nick Saban, Bill Belichick got all those branches of coaches.
Yeah.
Jerry Lorenzo is a branch of fashion for Kanye. Kanye got a bunch of fashion guys like that for himself.
That looks like something my mother used to knit for people when they were having babies. What the hell is that crap?
I like the shorts. I didn't like the boots though.
The shorts were okay. The shorts gave me like the shorts gave me kind of the shorts kind of gave me like Rocky 2 when he was chasing around that chicken. Like I'm just saying, like, you look at that. I mean, my slippers are from like the dollar store. My slippers are from a dollar store, and they're better looking than whatever the hell he was wearing on his feet.
Hey, Jams. Jams commented. He said something about Devin's jaw being broken. I was told that Devin's jaw is not broken. Not just from what he said on the timeline. They saying his jaw is not broken.
Yeah.
Allegedly, it's hematomas.
Yeah, they look like cheek hematomas.
But to answer your point, to answer your question, Neutral, what I thought went wrong was, as much as he was trying to not focus on the circus that was Ryan Garcia, because we can all agree that was a circus, that was a sideshow, that was everything. As much as he was trying to not, the problem is his camp actually bid it. Like, he was Ryan threw out the hook, threw out the bait, and his camp bid it. Like, his father was quoting Ivan Drago from Rocky IV, saying all this stuff, and it's like, when you have all these people. Doing that kind of talk, and you're the fighter, just trying to, like, focus on the fight at hand. That
what do you mean? Is it that line? If he dies, he dies.
He said that. He said exactly that.
Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Hey, Styles. How do you think I felt? How do you? I
agree. No, but that's what I'm saying. When I heard that, I was like, wait, what? Like, he's quoting. Why the hell are you quoting? What? See, that's the thing. When the fathers of these guys do all the talking,
like not Bill the promoter though? Bill is his promoter, his manager, his trainer.
But he's got. But he's also going to understand.
Remy, does Bill do too much?
He was doing too much.
Okay,
he was definitely
yes and no. Yes, because the things that he told Devin to do were actually in the fucking game plan. That's the problem. I'm thinking, so if it was all hoopla, I would have been happy, which I expected it to be, because I thought, this is what I thought, right? And I had a conversation with Devin before the fight, and I told him too. I was like, I understand you want to knock him out, but if you ain't feeling it, don't go for it. And he told me he'd make it look easy. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing then was like, the underestimation is already there. You can't go into that kind of mindset.
Like, you
The
can't go.
So
ball was rolling, Styles.
he went into.
I understand that the ball was already rolling, but if you go into that kind of mindset,
Hey,
then
I gotta go outside really quick, guys. I'm gonna be right back. Okay.
Yeah,
Catch
yeah,
me up.
on
I'm
you
gonna
go,
be
mate.
about 2
Thanks.
minutes.
all right.
Yeah, so yeah, carry on, Mr. Stars. You know that. So
So
you're saying that made all the difference in
I
that
mean,
fight.
when you have people like, because look, if you're like I said, you're a fighter, like your whole job is to, one, make weight, two, get mentally prepared into going into battle. When you have all these people around you doing all the talking, and yes, I get it, it's promoting, it's doing all this. When you have all these people around you doing all that talk, at some point it's gonna get into your ear, and it's gonna, like, throw you off your game plan just a little bit. And that's what I think it happened for Devin. I mean, even that little thing where Ryan Garcia was wearing that white suit and he was doing that thing, GQ, whatever the hell that was, and then they panned it. Yeah, yeah. When the camera turned to Devin Haney's face, and he's like, "I don't think Ryan Garcia is taking this fight seriously." Devin's like calm, cool, and he's trying to be as calm and cool as he can be in this. He's trying to be, but at the end of the
They were
day,
not in that room at the same time, were they?
they weren't. Oh, that would have been
I think that was edited.
oh.
I'm not sure.
Whoever did that.
I don't quote me on that, but
If that was edited,
yeah.
whoever did that deserves an award, because that was beautiful.
That was brilliant.
That was beautifully done.
Yeah, it's beautifully done.
But
So what do you think, Mr. Styles? Let's get your point of view on the PBC situation that you were hearing before the boys when they were talking. What's your sense as a fan? You're a paying fan, and you're seeing these PBC fighters not only leaving and signing with Matchroom, but they're leaving and they're going on to cards for Turkey Al Sheikh and Matchroom.
I feel like PBC was starting to get some kind of momentum with, and having all these fighters like to be like the next big thing. But once Matchroom and all these other places, and once they weren't seeing like they weren't getting like enough fights or enough shows being put on, they weren't getting enough exposure out there. They were looking elsewhere. They were testing the free agent waters, and they were looking at places like Matchroom, Queensberry, any place that would put them on, and that's why they wanted to go there. Because if you're not going to why am I going to waste my time fighting for someone, help building something up when you're not even you're not doing anything on your end to really help get that exposure out there for your brand, for your company. And that's why a lot of these guys, because would go to like places like Matchroom, Queensberry, Top Rank, all these places, because they're doing more for their fighters. They see how they're treating their fighters, and that's why they're jumping ship. I mean, for me, the biggest one after I say Terrence Crawford leaving PBC was Deontay Wilder going to Matchroom. And I was like, oh, because Deontay Wilder, when he took off the mask and revealed himself as the team captain for the 5 versus 5, I was like, because I saw more of Deontay Wilder's fights on PBC. He was the quote PBC golden boy of that brand.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Certain well-known cult was born from Deontay Wilder and PBC.
Because when Deontay Wilder was WBC champion and Joshua was unified, Deontay Wilder helped put PBC on the map. He helped get them recognized, and then they thought, okay, like let's dive into like someone like Canelo Alvarez. And when Canelo saw like how their workings were and how their thing was going, he was like, you know what, why am I still fighting for these guys? Like, what the hell with them? They don't even know how to run, whatever the hell that situation was. So when but to me, the biggest kick in the gut for the PBC brand was when Deontay Wilder jumped ship to go somewhere else, like Matchroom Boxing. So,
right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has brought us to the end of the show today. I would like to thank all my guests that have come through: Matt from MVO, my good friend Remy, Rico, the mentor. Just to say that AK's come through.
Neutral, can I ask you real quick? You took a picture with You took a picture with Beatrice, right?
I did today. Yeah.
Do you think? What do you think? She thinks she's going to walk out IBF champion this weekend?
Oh, absolutely. Do you know what? Just sitting next to her, she's got an aura, a very
She got like
powerful.
She got like that calm presence.
Yeah, she's got a very powerful aura, and I could feel her determination. And having spoke to her, that and looked in her eyes, it's the eyes of a winner. She's Olympic
She's got
champion.
She's got what, 6 fights so far in her career?
Four,
and she's fighting for a world title.
She's fighting for a world title. She's been fast tracked, but
exactly.
Goodness,
but who else do you know has gotten fast tracked, men or women, that quickly?
So she's fighting Lescano for this belt on Saturday. I asked her what her next plans were. She's going to the Paris Olympics in July.
Oh, she's going back to the Olympics.
Yeah, back to represent Brazil, and she's then looking forward to any.
But wait, will they allow her back because she's a professional? Like, will they allow her back for the apparent?
Yeah, of course, professionals compete in the Olympics. They have done for many years.
Well, no, because I know like how they say they want to keep professionals and amateurs separate. If you go professional, you cannot really.
Aye, well, Manny Pacquiao, we're trying to get back.
You guys talking about in the UK? Well, with y'all's amateur sparring professionals?
No, it's all about.
We're talking about the Paris Olympics because Beatrice is going back to Paris for the Olympics. That's why. So that's why I said I know they want to keep the professionals and the amateurs kind of separate, because if they want to keep more amateurs, that's the whole point. If you're doing the Olympics, because you're an amateur, it's not fair for professionals to come in and just get at least that's what they say. I mean, they don't want to have But I think to add something to it, from what I've seen, I think she's the next breakout star amongst the Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor, who's been to the Olympics, won gold medal, and now is going to be a dominant world champion. I feel like just from what I'm seeing from her, she's got that.
She's got that killer instinct. She's a powerful weak character, this Beatrice, and I wish her all the luck tomorrow night. I'll be there ringside. First time ever. So looking forward to that. AK, you've come through. Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Neutral. Remy, what's up, Styles? I'm doing well, man.
I was going to say, AK, you better say it's good to see me too.
Hell yeah, it's good to see you, Remy. Shit. I got a lot of love for Remy, Neutral, all y'all, because y'all participate cordially in this boxing bullshit conversations that we have, and it's all about respecting one another, and I really appreciate that. We can all have our opinions on fighters, but you don't take shit personal. You don't insult people. That's the kind of conversations I like to engage.
That's for children.
AK, we don't take things personal like most of modern today's culture takes personally. I mean, everything. Can't say anything. You can't say anything nowadays without someone getting canceled for something stupid.
No, I feel that, and I'm just showing love. But the reason that I came in is I wanted to say my piece on the PBC thing, right? So, I think still to this day we have this misconception that PBC is a promotional company. PBC always gets compared to Top Rank, Matchroom, all these other promoters, Golden Boy. It's not a promoter. It's a TV show. It was a TV show that started on Showtime. It was a TV show that aired on Showtime. The promoter behind PBC was always Tom Brown and Promotions. And if you look at the Riyadh season poster, Tom Brown Promotions is on the poster.
Right. TGB is at the top right-hand corner.
So no, of course, Turkey Al-Sheikh is not going to promote this as a PBC TV show. He's going to promote it as Riyadh season, and he's going to show the promoters that are working with him. So people just don't understand that PBC is not a promotional company, and that shit just like people go on tangents forever. They create so many tweets and posts and threads of conversation about it, and it makes no sense.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We got a new speaker, Rita. How are you, sir?
Hey, how's it going, man? What's up? What's cracking? My name is Raider.
Good, thank you.
New to the channel. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What have you got to say?
Doing, Raider?
Pretty good, man. Just I'm listening to you guys talk about everything so far. You know, the Ryan and Haney fight, and how PBC is. This guy's right. PBC is not a promotional company. It is a like a show, right? But they. It kind of is in the background of promotional company, because their fighters do have promotional companies, right? But it's more, we know who is in charge of all that, right? It's Al Heyman. You ask those fighters about making fights, and they say, you know, call Al. You know what I mean? So we know who really is in charge and doing the promoting for all that stuff. But
right,
they
but
can't
Al
really
Heyman
call it a
comes from the
promotional
entertainment
company.
industry, and
Correct.
that's what he's out to do, is put on entertainment, and he's out to put on good shows, and that's what he does.
Also comes
and that's
from
what PBC
he also
does.
comes from
They
Golden
have the
Boy as
biggest
well.
fights. What's that?
I say he also comes from Golden Boy as well. So
yeah, he comes from the music industry.
No, I know, but he was at Golden Boy.
I don't know about that.
Right.
Let's bring in Lee DeGreek, otherwise known as Mr. Malik Brown. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's Lee the Geek and it's Malik. I'm doing great. I'm listening right now. I kind of came in a little bit later, so I apologize for that. But I definitely do appreciate the space. Love talking boxing.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure you guys have already talked about the ins and outs of the Haney Garcia fight. Not sure.
Let's hear what you think.
Okay. Because I was just in the gym. So I have a gym out here in Chicago. And one thing that I just feel like Haney should have, I mean, there's a lot of adjustments he should have made, but one of the things that really kind of like pissed me off a little bit was like, I needed, when Ryan Garcia was going into that little Philly Ryan situation, I think one of the things that Tank was able to capitalize easier because he was a southpaw is once he got up under the hook, he was already lined up for that left hand. And what Haney was doing, and maybe because he was always, you know, the nerves and the lights, and maybe the situation got kind of too big, but he kept on pressing and being on the outside, on the right side, and trying to hit his back almost, and not lining up because he was just leaning over to the right. If you guys remember that Charlo Lubin fight, where he hit him with a shovel hook, right, like right down in the middle, and knocked him out real early. It would have been so much easier for Haney if he would have been able to move his feet over to that right side and do a lot of his work. Some of the best work he was doing was actually, ironically, with the left hook.
Well,
and that was just something that kind of just like
it was pretty evident from
the left hook and the left cross.
Exactly.
The left cross got him, was the big shot.
Wasn't Ryan Garcia moving him to his left the whole fight? Ryan Garcia was moving Haney to his left to open up that body shot. And which he did eventually, but you know that wasn't the shot that put Devin down.
I like how you called it the Philly Ryan and not the Philly Shell, because I was about to say that would be disrespectful to Philly.
That's the Victorville Shell. That's the Victorville Shell.
Well,
right.
And so of course, fellas, right? We're boxing fans before we're fans of the boxers. So like just in appreciating boxing, it's just like when you're leaning over like that. Right? Like I have a habit of doing that too. Like I always want to lean over this side. It feels safe. And it's hard to catch somebody with a left hook if you're going horizontally and they're going up and down. It's hard to catch them. That's why you're supposed to go up with that. But if you're on the right side, and it's hard for me to see it on the camera, it's hard for you to connect on that. But I think that another thing with that fight that kind of bothered me a little bit is I got to go back and look at the punch stats, but I feel like Haney just kind of gave up on the jab. And changing levels with the jab.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I just felt like, man, there was just so many
different. He abandoned the jab after round 5 for some reason.
For sure. And that's maybe because he was getting rocked. But I think, like, I don't know, kind of hard to.
It was because he was getting countered with the.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, bro. Exactly what I was gonna say. Me and this guy are on the same page. for sure. Ryan made him abandon that jab. He kept getting countered every time he jabbed. Because in the beginning, not on this show, but on other shows, I said if the way that Ryan's gonna win is if he takes away Devin Haney's jab, because that's his bread and butter. That's how he comes in and comes out and uses his feet, bro, off the jab. But every time he was throwing it, he'll make him pay. He'll throw that left hook, and he wouldn't want to get caught with that hook, bro.
Okay,
he didn't want, and he ended up getting caught in the 7th round with it again.
No, I got my other assessment. My other assessment of it was a classic example of somebody overtraining and getting so caught up in the game plan, because you want to have a game plan, and we always talk about fighters sticking to the game plan, right? And that's a good thing. But what makes, and I hate that everybody compares everybody to Floyd Mayweather, because there's plenty of other people who do this. For example, David Benavidez did a great job of doing this when he fought Andrade, which was making the small adjustments as you go. And one of the things that we talk about, we just talked about Haney's jab, right? But another thing that was supposed to be a big thing about Haney is that he's supposed to be more cerebral, right? He's supposed to be a fighter that can make those adjustments and use his attributes to his advantage. And I felt like one, let's be real, and I'm not making any excuses because I'm a Haney fan, but he did look drained at the weight. So that could be either from overtraining, that could be because of nutrition, that could be because of multiple factors. But he looked drained at the weight. That's one thing. But the other thing was he wasn't able to make the incremental changes. And it's crazy because when Bill and Mayweather were going back and forth, and Mayweather was saying, well, hey, your film might not have needed me the 5 years he's been alive, but he needed me that Saturday night. And as much as Floyd is egotistical, I think he has a point that if you're not making those adjustments, then it made it so that like Ryan's, like, I'm not saying he wasn't training, but his all the things that he was doing kind of like never was he never saw any consequences for it. Right?
Yeah, I agree with that because you look at Ryan was so successful jab and hooking off of the jab because Devin was trying to parry his jab with his right hand, and he was leaving himself wide open. And you don't see too many people be able to hook off of the jab like that. I mean, Ryan just has that elite hand speed to be able to do it. And
not only that, not only that too, just like Mike Tyson said, right? Everybody's got a plan until you get hit. Not only did he get hit, he got rocked. And he didn't see it coming in the first round, bro. So think about this, bro. If you're a fighter, when you're fighting, you get rocked, you kind of step back a little bit and assess what's going on. But since he didn't even see this hit, he didn't see that punch coming, he got rocked. He's like, where the fuck did this come out of? He got rocked. And he's like, all right, he took a step back. In the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, he made a little bit of adjustments, right? But at some of that time too, Ryan I felt like he was letting him get comfortable back so he can fucking get that hook again. And in the 7th round, it showed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And whoever pointed that out, I'm sorry I didn't catch it, but that jab, like I literally just did this today and yesterday when I hit the gym, and I spar with a professional out here in Chicago, and that jab hook. It's something, for some reason, it's a fundamental move, but like people at a high level don't necessarily see it coming. So hats off for Ryan for doing that.
Hey, bro, and I'll tell you this much, bro. Anybody, I mean, I'm not a boxer, bro, but you know how people box out on the streets or whatever. A jab and then a hook with the same hand that fast, bro, is extremely hard to do, bro. That's stupid right there.
You know who just did that out of the UFC? And I'm not trying to bring it over to UFC, but the guy Pereira. He just had a knockout, and he just did
elite striker.
Elite striker, of course.
That's that kickboxing experience, though. Elite, that kickboxing experience.
He did the same thing. He jabbed him, and then right when he was ready to jab, he came over with that hook, and it's something that's elite. How do you guys feel? What's next for Ryan? What makes the most, not for Ryan? For
hey, Leak, I want to touch on what you just said, though.
Go ahead, brother. My bad. Can I mute?
You got two. No. It's that little mic.
You can mute yourself if you want. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but bro, it's crazy you spoke on that too, because those are two guys who are literally elite left hook throwers, and you really kind of have it's kind of like a talent thing. I don't think it's more so a skill thing. It's like a God-given ability. The way they're able to whip it, the way Devin, and then like you said, Lee, Devin actually gave Ryan that shot from the opening round on. And I think once his legs weren't there as much, he was susceptible for it. And the hook is the shot you don't see regardless. That's why a lot of people are questioning Devin's chin. And I want to make sure I'm not like backtracking, but a lot of people are questioning Devin's chin. If you can take that hook, how he took pause, how he took that hook flush on the chin, that means you have a chin.
For sure.
No diddy.
No diddy, but no, for sure. So this is what it is. So our fighter just went to Mexico, right? And a fighter, shout out to Kendrick Watkins out of Trenches Boxing Gym in Chicago, and he is a beast. Like, he is such a cerebral fighter. He went out to Chicago without our team. He had to go with people who were just bringing us out, Chicago, to Mexico. And he was out in an environment he's never been in, doesn't speak a lick of Spanish. They threw him in there, and he got
what part? What part of Mexico? What part of Mexico? Sorry to interrupt.
I'd have to ask him. I want to say Tijuana. I know it was kind of close to California.
Yeah, it's gonna be Tijuana. That place over there, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but shout out to you.
Yeah,
I'm not
fight.
but let me finish real quick. So he went out there, and we're watching the whole gym. We're watching him on stream. He got caught early. He slipped a little bit. Got caught early. And when I say that, like, what happens when you get, because again, when boxers say that you have to have been a fighter to understand that when you get caught early, it kind of brings you back fundamentally to who you are as a fighter on the inside before you did all that training. And who Kendrick was is he's a brawler. Like, when he gets hit, he just was going there, bing, 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 and just start hitting really hard back. And that was not the game plan, and that was not what was going to win him the fight by making the adjustments. And I feel like what we saw, and to the point you were just making, Remy, not only do I feel like Devin Haney has a chin, but we saw who he was on the inside. He stepped forward and decided to fight. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And that's me. That's me saying my chest out, because I'm also from Oakland, and so like I saw a lot of the Oakland in him.
Hold on
wait
a minute.
It was definitely to his detriment, though.
Right, Malik, you said Devin Haney was a cerebral fighter. I was on a space last night where one of the guys, one of the audience listeners, was so adamant that Devin Haney, he even went as far as called him a limited fighter because he couldn't adjust to Ryan Garcia's arsenal of weapons. What do you say to that?
He almost won the fight.
I say this. I say that first and foremost, I'm a fan of boxing, not just the fighters. And so I will say that fight with Devin Haney, as a huge Devin Haney fan, brings up so many more questions. I just need to see more. He has been able to get away with not only being slightly bigger, but just slightly more talented than the people he's been fighting recently, right? Mm-hmm. And so even with Loma, like, Loma's probably just as talented, but just not as big, not as hard of a puncher. So I would say that before I make a judgment call, because I would be a fanboy one way or the other, to say, oh yeah, so he doesn't have no skills, he's not cerebral.
No, we're not like that here.
I would say I just need to see a little bit more. That's why I'm very interested in everybody's opinion on who you think he should fight next. Because
Sandor Martin.
Because the people in the gym that I'm at, what we're saying right now is that, well, we got to see what it's like for a talented fighter to fight somebody finally his size, if not a little bit bigger. And then I want to also say to that, if we have questions about Devin Haney and his lack of adjustments for that particular fight, well, then guess what? We might have to have questions for Shakur Stevenson also, because when he got touched up by De Los Santos, he became a track star. And that's not me getting away from boxing. That's the fact. And maybe that would have been better for Haney to do, to get on his wheels a little bit more and to win the fight. But nevertheless, like, we're seeing these ultra talented people, when they start getting touched up, because Shakur and Devin are always talking about sparring. And guess what? I spar. I'm not a professional. If I got headgear on and all these different things, it's a whole different thing when you get those small gloves on, you get hit hard. So to answer your question directly, let me see one more fight. If he doesn't make the adjustments, because it could have been the corner, right? Look at Ortiz when he fought Teofimo. He should have made an adjustment, even though he thought he was out boxing, but the corner told him to do the same thing, so he did it. So let's see one more fight, and let's see if he can make those adjustments before I make.
Do you think Sandor Martin is that fight?
Do I think what?
Do you think Sandor Martin is that perfect fight for him to come back to?
Sandor Martin would be an absolutely a great follow-up fight to see if he can make an adjustment, make somebody who's scrappy and hard to fight look like, make Devin look like he's as talented as we say he is. You know, that's why I love boxing, is because
I don't.
you can't lie in the boxing.
I don't know if that's gonna. I don't know if that fight's gonna work for Devin, bro. Sandor Martin likes to run a lot, bro. He's not there to fight, Sandor Martin. He likes to box and he likes to move around the ring, use
He's a
lateral
boxer
movement,
mover.
and
He's
yeah,
a
he's a
boxer
big.
mover.
Yeah,
And
he's a
That
super,
works well for
super
Devin.
mover, bro.
some will argue that he beat Seal, but you know that's neither here or there at this moment in time. So I wouldn't say he's a runner because I've
As in
seen
some,
worse. You
when you
know,
say some, I'm a part of that some,
I
neutral.
think Devin is still an elite fighter. He made a lot of adjustments. He almost won that fight with 3 scored knockdowns or whatever. He took a lot
yeah.
of damage. And this
Yeah,
man did make adjustments. You know, he did move around. Like I scored at 113, 111. Like that's pretty close. From the ass whooping that I saw, the
you still
scorecard that I
scored it like
scored
that, yeah.
was
Yeah,
very close.
no, I'm
So
not
that's what I'm saying. Like Devin is very,
How many
very good at
rounds
that.
did you
And
give him? How many rounds did you give Devin, bro? Honestly,
I gave him 2 through 6, and then I gave him the 12th, I think.
that sounds
two
reasonable.
through six.
That AK.
Two.
That's what I
So,
feel like you
so
gotta give him
So the
rounds.
problem
He like
is
It
two
was
for
a
one though.
it was a fight of two halves. Devin
Yeah.
Haney, apart from round one, won the first half of the fight. I had him after 6 rounds, 4-2 up in rounds. And that was because I was being generous to Ryan in one of the rounds because I felt he just touched Haney with their body shots a wee bit better. But nonetheless, round 7 was the game changer.
Yeah,
And then from
absolutely.
then on, to me, it just felt that Haney was taking some pretty serious punishment at that time. Now, the question was going to be next was where does Ryan go next? Because
wherever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
do you think he has that power now to negotiate at the table for world title fights?
Look, if
AK.
I'm Ryan Garcia, I'm milking
Yep.
everything. I'll fight the UFC guy just because, just to make everybody more pissed off. That like, yeah, I'll do what I want. I'll fight. What Ryan? I mean, if he wants to make a push to 147, you could fight Mario Barrios. You could fight. Ryan could really fight anybody he wants. Obviously, people want to see a Tank rematch. People, I don't think Oscar De La Hoya wants to let him do a Devin Haney rematch. And that's because I think that it just wasn't Devin's night as far as making the weight and being drained. I mean, to AK's point, Devin was doing Devin-like things. Like he was nice in there, but you can't let another point that I've heard somebody say before, but I don't think it's get talked enough, is that Ryan was doing more than taking more than half of the rounds off and and fighting in spurts and still hurting him. And that's what I'm saying about the proper adjustments. As a fighter, if I know as soon as I see you breathing, if I see you breathing too hard, I'm on you. Even if they're not hard shots. Like Andre Ward used to talk about your ability to keep the pressure on somebody without even punching. Those are cerebral things that I just didn't see out of Devin because it felt like the weight, and I'm not making that as an excuse, but it just is what it is. The weight and him not being able to like making that weight, and that's also something he was projecting all throughout the camp, right? Calling Ryan fat. He was projecting because he was doing what he was doing with his weight. And I think that those factors kind of played into like Devin's not showing up that night, man. Like I hats off to Ryan. He can fight whoever he wants.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, bro. I gotta go, man. I got some stuff to do, man. Thank you for having me on the panel, man. Salute to everybody right here, and I can't wait. For August 3rd. We're gonna have the big card over here in LA over here. So see what's cracking with that, man. But thank you. I'll jump on next time when you guys are on. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome, sir. And thank you for coming on.
I'm coming in late. Everybody's getting ready to dip out. I do appreciate everybody having.
Well, that brings me to the end of Hard Talk. I would like to thank Malik, my man Remy, Mr. Styles, AK, big up boys. All come on again next time, 2 weeks' time, with our proud sponsors of the show, D-Rock Apparel. For those who want to browse the catalogue, go on to their website and do yourselves a favor. Take advantage of 40%. Yes, you heard me right. 40% off your purchases, courtesy of iBoxingHub. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Once again, thank you all, and we'll see you next time.
It's another bang. All the Muslim cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a bag, but it's another one, yeah.